Plus, this morning, the president came to the microphones and released another version of his birth certificate, proving, which we had already done, that he is, in fact, a natural-born American citizen. It's Wednesday, so let's get to Fox News political analyst Juan Williams for Wednesdays with Juan, live from Washington. Well, I hope everybody's happy, Juan.
No, they're not happy. Now they're on to another conspiracy theory. Now they want to know if he committed Social Security fraud, if his transcripts for his university education out of California, the transfer to Columbia, then how did he get into Harvard Law School? I think it reveals it for what it is that there's just a lot of people who are angry with President Obama. Is it racial? It certainly looks like it has a racial tinge, but for some reason they just want to keep beating him about the head on his basics of his biography. They just don't like the guy, I guess. Over
nothing. Because this was, from the very beginning, absolutely nothing. And the people pushing it knew it was nothing. So you don't do something like that without a reason. You do it to get him off his game. It's bad for the country. And I just wonder now, Juan, if the news media ought to look in the mirror, every single one of us, and say, you know what? Your journalism professor in Journalism 102 taught you, you do not report rumors, because all of this was a load of crap, and all of our colleagues knew it from the very beginning.
Yeah, you know, and when you look at someone like Donald Trump, who has used this issue to raise himself up in the polls, and even today was saying he accomplished what no other American could do. He forced the president to release this long form. It is just so cynical. It is cynical to the point you just want to cry for the country.
Yeah. I was frankly saddened to see that when you come out and just report what is absolute truth, that it's like some sort of revelation, some sort of news. I mean, that the opinion people want to knock things up and throw things around for political reasons. Well, that's what opinion people do. All the networks break in, and Donald Trump's on one side of the screen, talking about how proud he is of himself, and then the President of the United States is sitting in the back watching it over absolutely nothing when we're stuck in 3 wars, the economy's in the dumper, and nobody seems to be paying attention to what's going on in the world. It's just flat sad, or I thought it was.
Well, and the thing is, if you look at the numbers, it was just incredible. You had about half of Republicans in the country and almost all of the Tea Party saying this guy wasn't born in the United States.
How did that happen?
Well, I mean, clearly the leadership here in Washington, people who should have been of sufficient integrity and spine to say, this is wrong, don't go down this path. This is not the way that you should treat any president of the United States, and it's not worthy of us as an American people in terms of focus and concentration, debate about big issues, not worth a moment of our time. Those people never stepped up, Shep, and as a result, lots of people who have policy differences with the president, legitimate policy differences, instead got involved with this very ad hominem personal attack that I think is beneath us.
There was a time when you got up in the morning, you read the newspaper, you learned what's going on, you watched the TV, you learned some more about what's going on. Now you go to all these sites, you could start thinking that the sky is purple and the grass is going to come up pink, and by the end of the day you can read enough websites to have yourself convinced of that. We need a mirror, a collective as a nation. Just freaking stop it, Well,
what you said about the journalism professors for us in the media is true, but I think for the country as a whole, this might be a mirror moment. A mirror moment where you say, how could we get so lost in terms of these conspiracy theories? Why are we so into dragging people down, diminishing, demonizing people, as opposed to dealing with the issue? It's just crazy.
Maybe because the issues right now are so big and very difficult to wrap your arms around that you're just looking for somebody on the other side to hate. It's like me and LSU. It doesn't matter if they could transplant 8 hearts down there and save the lives of the greatest people in the world. I'm still going to hate LSU. It's part of my job as a rebel. But
yeah,
it's
but
also
you love the sports. You love to go to the games. Let's not lose sight of the bigger picture here. It's one thing to root. It's one thing to be a Republican or a Democrat. It's another thing to have the country just go off the rails to the point where you're worried the whole thing is going to crash because everybody is a doomsayer, everybody is a conspiracy theorist. At that point, how do rational people have an honest conversation about the critical issues of our time?